everybody, this is Grand Master Damian Lemos here from onlinechesslessons.net, and we are going to cover round 9 between Grand Masters Naiditsch and Harikrishna. We'll see white opens the game with d4, black plays knight to f6, and here white plays knight c3. We don't see this move often in top elite tournaments. I guess white's idea is to stop the King's Indian or maybe the Grunfeld. As you probably know, the main move in this position is playing c4. So after this, knight c3, black plays d5, and here what we have is the Ritcher-Veresov attack, and white plays with bishop f4. The other possibility here is to play with bishop to e5. This makes a lot of sense, because as you'll see in this game, white tries playing with f3 plus e4, and when I play this line as black, I usually play knight bd7 here. If I play e6, then he can try e4, and here we have a line from the French defense. We can also try playing c6, although here he can try destroying our pawn structure by means of bishop takes knight. So I like knight bd7, protecting the pawn structure, and then I can play e6 or maybe c6, c5, depending on what white plays. In this game, he tries bishop to f4, and black plays bishop to f5. I like this move because we are playing against this plan, and if we play e6, then the bishop is inside the pawn chain. In some variations, we have to be careful about this too. So bishop f5, f3, e6, and queen to d2. I think that if white plays e4, then he is creating weaknesses on the king side. I mean, playing e4, h4, this looks powerful, but in the long run this should be weak. h6 or maybe h5. The king side is weak, and black will have counterplay on the queen side. So queen to d2, bishop to e7, flexible move, and of course it's a solid move too. I think before playing something like c5, we have to make sure we have a safe king as black, so he castles queenside and knight to c6. Once more we see a flexible move. We are not castling yet, and we are not playing with c5. Knight to c6. Well, I can't see the idea yet. I know it's a development move, and I know that if he tries knight to b5, this is not a big deal, because he plays rook c8, and then he pushes the knight back by playing a6. When he plays knight c6, I believe in a lot of variations knight b4 is a threat. And white plays queen e1. This move is not a natural move, but yeah, he's trying to play with e4. This makes sense. So bishop e6. I like the fact we are running away before he plays e4. And if he does, if he plays e4 here, we can just castle. We are not worried about a move like this, because then he's opening this diagonal. And if he takes, we are also happy to open that position here. Also knight takes d5 is playable. So knight to h3, black castles here, knight to f2. Feels like white is ready to do a pawn storm here on the king side, and the knight on f2 is also supporting e4. But here black takes the initiative, playing knight to h5. We have to be careful when we play a move like this, because we are also placing the knight in the corner. However, considering how the game was, maybe white should have played e4, trying to get space as soon as possible. Bishop e3 and a knight to b4.
Check.
Now, yeah, c2 is under attack. Now the c file is free. Therefore, he can try playing something like c5. And white has a tough decision, because rook d2, when we play this, then our queen is too passive. Bishop on e3 is not doing much. Maybe, I know this is not great looking, but knight d3, we are blocking this diagonal, the e6 c2 diagonal, and what is more important, we are also trading some pieces off. When we are facing an attack, best you can do is trade. Maybe white didn't play this because first of all, the knight is not under attack, and if he takes, then we have double pawns here, and the rook on d1 is passive. But white can still push his pawns
Check.
on the king side. I like the fact bishop e6 is blocked. It's not terrible for white. I believe black would have played something like a5 or maybe something else. But I'm not worried about knight takes d3. Problem with rook d2, in my opinion, is this move is just too passive. So rook d2, then c5. I like this move. Maybe black has other possibilities, but when your opponent has a passive position like this one, you have to take the initiative as soon as possible, and in order to do that, we have to open that position. Therefore, I like c5. We can consider other moves like b6 and c5. However, I don't think we need to prepare the c5 advance. Bishop e5 looks interesting too, although white at this point he's happy to trade some pieces off and finish his development. So yeah, if you want to keep the initiative, you don't want to trade pieces off. Then we play c5 and white plays e4. If d takes c5, I think I see a lot of ideas for black here. One of them is queen to a5. As you can see, we have a couple of threats there. We can also try getting our pawn back on c5. Why not? We can play b6 too. like the Benko gambit where black sacrifices a pawn on the queen side, but we make sure we have open lines there. Would be nice if we open the a file. Maybe the simple queen c7, we bring this rook into the game too. We have a lot of possibilities. White here, he tries getting some initiative too. The knight comes back to f6, h4, and then knight to d7. This is a powerful move. I mean, black is just ignoring the threats on the king side. If we play something like h5 now, this is dangerous, of course, because our king is there. The same goes for h6. If we play h6, then it's easier for white to open that position with a move like e5, or maybe h5 first and then e5. This is too risky, of course. So when you have the king here, remember, don't touch your pawns unless you have a big reason, of course. But here, if we can leave the pawns on f7, e7 and h7, that's better. So knight to d7, and he plays f4. If h5, I believe black was just taking on c2. And here, with his king in the middle, he can't survive for a long time. Not to mention here, after e5, we'll probably play d4 next, and we are getting our piece back. So, and we also have the extra pawn, so yeah, this is not recommended for white. Looks like an easy win. So he tries f4. Well, if we try the same now, I mean, if we try bishop takes, difference here is he can't play e5. That is why he plays f4. But instead we play bishop f6. We can tell that white's opening was wrong. I mean, we are facing a strong attack here, and there's not much we can do. Yeah, white plays queen d1, defending d4, and we are also protecting c2. If we play a3, then he can just take here, I think, or maybe c takes d4 too. This is too powerful. Queen d1 is defending both. Although the queen is overloaded there, the rook is not well placed. Knight to b6. Knight c4 is coming, and white decides to take. Yeah, playing something like b3 should be losing. Then the knight on c3 is quite weak. A simple move like taking followed by rook c8 should be winning already. It's amazing to see that positional advantage black has here. And on the other hand, white is not able to create any counterplay. So bishop takes. I'm just thinking about knight c4. I believe this move should win too. Maybe white was trying to give up this change, but we'll see. Bishop takes c3 is powerful too, because when we play this we open his king. So white takes on b6. If this, I like knight takes,
Check.
king b2, and here I think, well, knight a4 check.
Check.
And then if king takes, we take on c3 and then we take
Check.
the queen. I was also looking at this move.
Check.
And then queen a5. we should be winning here too.
Check.
Queen b5, queen a5, queen b5, and then there's a mate on b2.
Check.
So c takes, and then black decides to let the bishop there. I mean, we can also take the rook, although here this knight is hanging. We can leave the bishop on c3, and after this now white has to take, otherwise
check.
He keeps on losing material.
Check.
Problem is the king is just too open. After king b2, queen d6. Now there's no way to stop queen a3, and
check.
knight takes c3. Therefore white resigns here. I feel in this game white, he played a weak opening maybe. I'm not sure about theory here because we don't see this knight c3 often, but I can tell in this position playing something like e4 is probably better. Feels like black took the initiative here when he played knight h5 followed by knight b4. I also know that playing something like a3 is not great looking for white, because then it's easier for black to open lines there. But I feel if white has some improvements, we should look, we should look for these improvements here. So I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you guys in future videos. Thank you.